Alright guys, what's going on? This is the Board Game Roamer bringing you Ceti Planetary Crisis. We're fixing to start Ceti cycle number 6. So I did a little research between episodes. I needed to look something up, and I was just kind of perusing the rule book for a couple other minor things. So I kind of screwed up pretty royally on one of the things. I've been doing it consistently, but consistently wrong. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. But for now, what I have been doing correctly is the crisis phase. So the first thing we do is move that up to 6. Next, we're going to, of course, pull one specialist, one crisis card. Put that in the offering here. That's going to be our what we pull for to see who gets crisis. Let's go ahead and pull. I think I did that out of order. Let's go ahead and pull and see who's going to get the crisis on their planet. And it's gonna be blue this time. Okay, so let's see what happens. So each of the other AI players will contribute a card. So we're going to start with the Azorians. It's the blue guys, and they're going to contribute their card. And remember, they get 3 energy, which takes them from 12 to 15. Then the Azorians will do the same. And we're shuffling. And I mean the Azorians. Why did I say Azorians? The units. The green is going to contribute their card. They're going to go from 14 to 17 energy. Alright, and remember the blue, if they do this, alright, is going to get it. Now I have to decide if I want to contribute anything. No, well, you know what? I think I am, because if you look at these cards here, one of these is a biohazard crisis. Guess what knowledge token I've got? Biohazard. So I can take the recruit action potentially and gain a specialist at some point. So I'm gonna risk it again. Play that. I'm going to hold on to my card that would let me immediately resolve. That gives me 3 energy. I'm going to go from 12 to 15. And that's everything for that. So let's shuffle them up. Alright, and let's see what we got. So I'm looking here. Alright, those two match. Those are the only 2 of that kind. So these 2 cancel each other out. You have a specialist and a crisis. We have an advanced card that does nothing, a specialist card that doesn't have a crisis, which leaves what I actually put in, which is this biohazard crisis. So the biohazard crisis says return all. Wow, I did not. Wow, I'm an idiot. Okay. It says return all biohazard crisis tokens to the Galactic Depot. So that one that I was so excited about having, yeah, it goes bye-bye. We place it over here, and we pull a biohazard crisis token, which is this. It affects algae. So that goes from 1 to 2, and it goes on the blue planet. Well, that kind of backfired, but that's okay. We'll deal with it, right? One more thing I screwed up. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. So that's that. That's the end of Enlightenment. It is now the action phase. During the action phase, we will take all these tokens, these commodity tokens from the planets, shift the exchange and this shift them down for everything we take off, and then we'll redo the demand. Oops. And that'll change the market. So these two out-and-out processors, technology drops from 2 by 2 to go 2 from 4. That's done. Diplomacy, telepathic generators drop from 2 to 1. And we have this plasma. It's going to go from 4 to 3. We have gold. That's going to go from 2 to 1. And another plasma, which is going to take the plasma from 3 to 2. So that takes care of that. We're going to put the commodities back in the commodity bag. Give it a good shake. Pull them out and start assigning them. Boom, boom. I'm going to go clockwise this time. Wow, I just keep getting... Alright, so start over here clockwise. Algae goes from 2 to 3. Technology goes from 2 to 3 from this one. Gold, which I believe is industry. Yes, I'm gonna try to call them by the right names. Industry goes from 1 to 2. This is logistics. That goes from 3 to 4. And industry again goes from 2 to 3. Alright, and as the beginning of the action phase goes, I get, AIs do not, I get 1 commodity of whatever's on my planet, which is the gold. I already have 4, so I cannot gain another one. So that's the end of that. Alright, now, another cool thing that I'm going to actually remember this time, and that is these cubes on my home planet. If you recall, that economic influence is what that represents. When we explore, we put a cube out and we build an orbital, and when we move that cube to our planet, what that represents is that orbital generating resources for us. So at the beginning of the action phase, based on the number of cubes I have, I actually get to assign points that represent economic gain from those orbitals working between energy and tau. And with 2 of the cubes, that's 15 points. So I'm looking at my ship. I think I'm going to do all 15 in tau because I've got some repairs that need to be done, and I really need to get some of these commodities so I can complete my objective cards. So I'm going to put all 15 on there, so that means I'm going to go from 16 to 31, if I did my math right. Hopefully I did. So that's where I'm at. Cool. So let's go now, and let's do my actions, and let's see if I can get some more points and clarify something I've been doing incorrect. Alright. Yep, that's everything we need to do. So let's go over to the AI mats and get this party started. Mac. Bubba. Hey. See some right here? See some right there? Good Bowie. Good Bowie. Good Bowie. Three, two, one. Alright guys, we're back here on the player mats. We're going to go take my action first. You can see this is the 31. That's where I made the change with those points. So, what to do? Well, the first thing I think I'm going to do is, if you'll look up here in the outer limit tile, if you remember last time, oops, sorry, let's move that up a little bit. There we go. I did an exploration action, took some damage on the computers over here, but I was able to explore that location. So I have placed my cube. I think my first action is going to be to build. So I'm going to take my marker, the build action. I move my materials marker to the left 1. I take that number, which is 3, multiply it by 2. That's 6. It's going to cost me 6 tau. So I go from 31 down to 25. All right, I'm going to take the orbital and place it here and put this on my planet. Now, it is very important to note the reason that I can do that is that I am connected here to this hex to over here. All right, so the way that exploration, the way that the building works, not exploration, I'm sorry, the way that building works is that those have to be connected. So the easiest way for me to explain it is actually to go in here, to the build action and basically read you what it says. Refuel. Gosh, I keep going past it. That's quite ridiculous. All right, build action. Okay, it's successful. Once you have at least one resource queue. Okay, here's the designer's note. Think of the hex system as a tree with its roots. Once you establish a root, which is obtaining economic influence in a regular sector, you can then begin expanding outward as long as you remain connected. If your root gets cut off at any point or blocked by another sector where you don't have economic influence, or a player initiates a battle and you lose an orbital, you cannot continue to expand outward from that point. Just remember the phrase block the route, block the route. So basically what it's saying is, if because I have this here connected, actually I misplaced this. Let me do it like this. That way it can technically be connected. So because this is connected to this tile, I can actually gain economic influence out here. Now, if I couldn't go here. In other words, I couldn't go here, explore an outer limit tile, because I don't have this in here. I believe that's my understanding of the rules. So you kind of have to use these as a way to jump off and explore. Now, let's say that the AI at some point comes over here and destroys this orbital. Once that happens, even though I can definitely move over to this another outer limit tile, if that outer limit tile had a place to explore, I could not place a cube there because my route would have been blocked, because my route is over here on this hex in that case. So that's how that works. But as it stands, I was able to do that. So that's my build action. Let's see. Let's do. Next action I'm going to take is I'm going to take a repair action. You know what? I'm not going to take a repair action. I'm going to take an upgrade action. So the reason I'm taking the upgrade action is, over here on my player mat, I cannot go any further to the left, right, to move my materials marker. The problem is that in order for me to be able to build an orbital, which I can still build one more potentially, I've got to be able to move that marker to the left. So because that marker is all the way to the end, I'm going to have to do something to move this materials marker to the right so that I can turn around and move it to the left when I do the build action. And the way that we move this material marker is take the upgrade action. So I'm going to take the upgrade action. I'm going to upgrade, I think, my weapons from 1 to 2. So move the materials marker. That's a 3. I'm going to level 2 on the weapons. I'm going to double check over here and make sure that a level 2 weapon is available. It is. So I looked at the depot. There is a level 2 weapon available. There's the weapon. Xenotronic missile. I'm going to put that over here. That is military, which on the Tau Ceti Exchange is currently at 2. The level is 2, therefore it's going to cost me 4 Tau. That will take me from 25 to 21. Right. So that is 2 of my actions done. It's going to be a bit costly, but I'm kind of running out of time. I think I'm going to use the next 2 actions to buy sell. So I'm going to do a buy sell action that's going to cost me 3 energy. I go from 15 to 12. And I'm going to go ahead and buy 3 more nanoprocessors, because if you remember, that objective card requires 4 nanoprocessors, and this other objective card also requires 4. So if I can get 4, I've actually satisfied the requirement for both of those, and I already have 4 gold, so I've satisfied the requirement for both of these. So really after that I only have 2 more commodities to choose to get, and I think I can get those before we finish the last cycle, barely, but I think I can do it. So that's the buy sell action. I want to buy 3 because I already have 1. So I'll take 3, multiply it by the cost on the exchange, which currently is 9. That's going to take me from 21 to 12. Okay, and I'm going to move my processors from the 1 column to the 4 column. So that's good. That's awesome. That's done. Next, I'm going to take that same action again. I'm going to reduce myself by 1, 2, 3, from 12 to 9 on the power energy. Excuse me. And I'm going to purchase. Telepathic generators, because right now on the exchange they're only 1. So I'm going to buy 4 of them. So that's going to be 4 Tau. So that's going to go from 12 to 8. And I'm going to put 4 of them on my ship. Done. And that is all of my actions. Hopefully this will pay off. Hopefully. That's all of my actions. That completes my action phase. It is now the the AI's action phase. So I'm going to pull out the cards here and give them a quick shuffle. And we're going to start, fortunately, with blue. Put that right there. So here is where I have made a consistent, pretty jacked up error. Up to this point, I've always told you that if I look in my column and I've taken an action to the far right, of course it's not going to work out this time, but if I took an action to the far right, then I always pick column 2. Column 2 basically had priority. That is incorrect. It's actually the opposite of that. So if I had taken, now in this case I didn't, but if I had taken any action in column 1, then we would start with using the column 1 of the card to take their actions. So for the last 5 of the last 6 cycles, instead of using this right-hand column, I should have been using this left-hand column because I've always had something in the first column on my player sheet. So I'm going to try to correct that now. Why that's important, I think, is because in having done that, there's several places and a lot of the cards where there's a little bit more towel on that side, so they're not going to run out of money. They're going to be able to keep doing actions. And you saw on both of these, I actually ran out of the ability to take actions because I ran out of money, and I think that probably would not have happened. So I do apologize to you guys, and I apologize to Outer Limit Games. I thought I remembered it, and unfortunately I did not remember it. So, and I'm seeing this token, and gosh, I'm not sure where it came from. Okay, I'm just gonna set it to the side. I don't want to have to go back and look. So that's how that goes. So again, I do apologize. But let's start with Nizarian. So in this case, after I say all that, there is nothing in the left-hand column, which only leaves the right-hand column. Now, one of the things that I did also in between episodes is I double-checked the BGG forum where I had asked this question because there's damage here. They have no tau. If they always go down here and they're trying to do a repair action, they're never going to be able to do it. I mean, they could potentially explore and do that sort of thing, but they can never repair their systems. So what the AI can do in order to attempt to complete as many of their actions as possible is they can trade. Okay, and so what trading means is we take a knowledge token, or as many knowledge tokens as we want or need to. We're going to turn these into the depot, and when we do that, that's going to generate us 5 tau. So when I turn that in, and that's a minor action, that is not one of the actions that they have to take. Okay, that should not be there. That's from last turn. That's one of the actions that they take. All right, minor actions don't count towards the normal actions. So actually, now they have 5. Now we're going to repair. Well, now we can repair. So we look at the ship, command ship. The ship is in space. That means it's going to cost 2 per point to repair instead of 1. But there's 2 damage total because we're repairing everything. That's 4 tau total, which we have 5, so we can now do that. And there you go. They are repaired. Then we recruit. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money to recruit. And then we upgrade. We can upgrade. Nope, we cannot upgrade. Because, again, we do not have the tau. And they don't have any more knowledge tokens to hand off to get the tau, so their turn is completed. Alright? So, again, I use this column this time. In the next episode, I'm sure, because there's a couple things I know, like repair, I need to do, so I know I'll be using the first column. But I've been doing it incorrectly. Just to clarify again, if you take any action in column 1, you will use column 1. If you take no actions in column 1, then you would use column 2 on your player map. Okay, so I've been doing it. I've always been looking at it and saying, okay, what's the highest column that I use? And I've always used something in column 2, and that's not the way it's supposed to be done. Anything in column 1 takes priority, which means if I take any action in column 1, I do column 1. So that completes the Azarians. Now let's look at the Junans. Let's go to the Junin mat and let's see what these guys are going to do. Alright guys, now let's take a look at the Junins. So let's pull up their card. We're going to look at their card. Now, they have a lot of damage, right? Cannot do any kind of repairing or anything like that. So that leaves upgrading, which we also can't pay for, and recruiting, which we can't pay for. So I'm going to go back to, in this scenario, they could never do anything because they never explore. Well, I take that back. If we use something in column 1, they could explore. So I'm actually not going to roll anything. So that's going to be the Junins. There's really nothing they can do. They don't have any commodities that they could sell. They don't have any. They don't really have anything. That's what it boils down to. They don't have any cards that are going to allow them to complete anything. Yeah. So, well, you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go ahead and roll and see if maybe I rolled a 3, which in the column 2, which is what they would normally use if they didn't have damage, is no money, just to try to give them a chance since I screwed up. So yeah, that's everything for them. They don't have anything to give away, so that is unfortunate. So that ends their turn. That ends the cycle. That's the end of the action phase. So that will end this episode. That's cycle 6. So come back next time to check out cycle 7. Again, this is Ceti Planetary Crisis, playing solo mode with 2 AIs. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. I apologize again for the rules mistakes, and I'm sure I'm making some. So hopefully Outer Limit Games, or some of you guys that already have this, that have a little bit better understanding of the rules, definitely drop me a comment. Let me know so that anybody watches this, that they can get pointed in the right direction. If you have any questions about anything, check out BGG, check out the FAQ and errata there, or post the questions and in the comments below, and we'll try to answer them the best I can. And so until next time, you guys get your game on, and we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.